around, all the inverted units come back, and then the Germans are going to shift some guys around because I'm going to plan to attack. For me to be successful here, I need to take at least 4 hexes here in France, and even 5 I can get it, but I need at least 4 right in this area so I can take Paris next turn. I'm not going to get it this turn. As a German player, and the way I save my money in 39 and work on the research table, I never get Paris before the fall, so I'm okay with that. But I got to take it next turn. So on this turn, I got to have these units destroyed. So I'll move all my forces up, my tanks up. I'll pick a breakthrough hex where I can exploit to. I'll have my planes up here covering. Okay, that's the way it'll go. Now I just noticed it's a mistake on my part, but so I'm going to change it. But because there's same thing. The Germans can bring planes up here and attack these planes, so we don't. Remember, we always stay out of counter air range, and I wasn't paying attention to that. So that's the way the planes should be. They're right out of range and just covering their units. Okay, so that was my mistake. So we go in and shift it. You know, playing a lot of countries, I'm going to make mistakes like that. I'm playing every country here to show you the gameplay. But okay, so it'll be the Germans' movement, and let's start with the tension table and see what happens. So the Axis tension table, U.S. tension table, is number 11 and 12 are for the turn of the summer. There's 2 per turn. Then you go up another one for the offensive we're going to take in the west. So the table is now at 13. The Germans are spending $15 on an offensive. They're at 130. Takes them down to 115. The Italians do not declare war. I don't want no turn flip-flop going on here. This is usually when I do, but since the battle is going to be so tough in France, I don't want the turn flip-flop coming because it'll really hurt me. So we're going to keep the Italians out one more turn, even though normally I declare war in the summer. But this is some sacrifices you got to make. You got to change your game plan as you go. Anything come on here in the no for the British, for the Germans, no, and for the Italians, nothing for the Italians. Let's see the Russians, no. The Japanese, they got to wait till they hit a tension table, and the Americans wait till they come to war. So nothing more there. So it'll be the Germans' movement. Everything's infantry, and you can see all my tanks are backed up here. The aircraft are covered up with the air bases I already had set up before, right in this area. I have 5 more aircraft than he does. So the movement's done. I will provide air support now. So we will come out with these 2 and these 2. Got too many airplanes stacked there. My bad. I only have 1 left. Okay. So that is a 2-to-1 shot. What you say is you lined up and you go, okay, do you have any defensive air support after we give ground support?
And the British take a look at this and they go, okay, this is his normal attacks. He's flown all his ground support. Now, after normal attacks are done, you can do exploitation attacks and fly ground support again. So as far as he knows, normal attacks are set up. So the British and the French are going to look at, well, do we want to try to foil any attack? Can we, and send out our air? But remember, the Germans are holding air back to intercept those British air or French air that come out. So remember, you're always watching the air. If he tries to come out and put defensive air support, you have enough air factors to equal his to intercept him. If you don't, then he will stop an attack. So you always make sure you have as much as he does. So now we will continue on with the attack.
And we have an exchange. Airplanes fly back home. And this is 14 dead British. And we lose 14. We'll take off. 6 and 4 is 10. And the 4 planes. So heavy loss right there for the Germans. So the battle's not starting good, just when we need it to be good too. So we have to occupy with something. We'll occupy it with him. I want to leave the paratrooper route because I want him to jump next turn. It becomes the breakthrough hex. Every tank goes on it. Now these two infantry are taking 1-to-1 on those French troops. And we have a 3, that's a counterattack. That's good, so we want counterattacks. Back, shoot. We have a 2, it's a counterattack. And we have attacker dies. That worked out okay. Let's move some Germans in. Okay. Now exploitation movement. Go 4, 8, 12. We're going to go 16. Right here you got 8. That's 2-to-1. And that's an easy kill there. We occupy that with 2 tanks. And then here's a little trick. I have 1 plane to spare, and I still have enough planes to watch him. We put the 1 on that attack because if he gets a counterattack, he has a 5. I will lose 1 tank and 1 plane. The other tank's still good. And so the roll is a counterattack. Counterattack. And the roll is an exchange. Just like we figured. So the plane's dead. And 1 tank is dead. But he loses those. So we end up with this. So there's 4 hexes we got in there. I had to take 2 1-to-1s. Paratrooper is not in a zone of control right now. I can SR an airbase to it. Now I left a gap here because I had holes and he can work his way around, but we're going to pack it with infantry right here. Not much we can do about it. So that's it. That's it for the Germans. Okay, so for the British, we'll see how the battle went. They lost 7 factors. The French lost 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 and 8. There's 22 factors lost there. I lost 4, 8, and 6 is 14. 14, 18. I lost 19 factors to his 22, so it's pretty close. However, what I really like is I got rid of all 3 French tanks and a British tank. He only has 1 tank left on the board. And that's what I was after. So his power is really diminished. I don't think he can take the Germans out of there. It'll be tough. With the Italians on their turn is we're going to back up these from the front line. And then we're going to SR at least this 3-3 down here to the front. So the 2-3, I think we might leave 1-3-3, 1-2-3 there, or because we're pretty much done here. They're not going to be able to get through here or even declare war on Italy. So I think we'll take the other 3-3, send it down here, and because we want to get through here, that's pretty much enough power. We need protection on this end and protection back here. We'll make another SR. This replacement off of here. This goes here. We always leave this like this. We don't want any invasions coming in here. And this replacement will go on Toronto, just in case we lose ships here. We're going to use a German to help defend here. Instead of sending that German infantry all the way down here to help, we'll send the one German tank. We need to get tanks and some planes down here eventually when we start pushing on the British. And then we need to definitely go after this when we can and start getting our little naval battle here. So we got Germans destroying British ships up there, and then the Italians, when they get in the war, they'll be doing it here. So that's the end of that turn. Go to unit construction phase. You always got to get your planes back. 15 bucks in planes, 3 tanks, 3 infantry. So it's 15. That's 8, 16, 24. So that's 34, 39, and 9 more is $48. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Germans are down to $67. So with the Italians at 81 and 67. So the Germans still hold the initiative. We're good. So there's no turn flip-flop again. So there's the builds. We back up this area. Remember, there was nothing there, but I'm allowed to build something in my own country as long as I'm not in an enemy ZOC, and that's not an enemy ZOC. So we're allowed to put there, and then we just backed it up reinforced. Make sure I cover the beach there. The planes, I can just get them out of the way, but it would give him free run with his planes to attack and do everything. So I'm still deciding on that, if I should just let him do that, because he can kick me out of a few spots here, or leave my planes there. And then he doesn't have the power to hit that. He's going to have to fight my planes. If he counter-arrows my planes, well, no matter what, he gets to buy his planes back, and he'll have more planes than me in the next turn. Okay, so that's, and that, I guess we can't have that. Absolutely, now that I think about it. As the British, remember, it's already going to go, you know, we might try to do an attrition. I don't want to spend any more money. You got to get your builds on the board. We want to get that fleet on the board. It's going to really take their money down. It's like we did the best. We're going to let France fall, go down in the fall of 1940. So we won't do much to them but an attrition. And I'm just making that decision now. It was a tough decision as a German player to back up my planes, but it makes sense. If he counters it, or you get in an air battle, so I'll lose 3, 4 planes. He'll lose 3, 4 or 5 planes, but he'll build all his back, and then he'll have more aircraft than me, and there's no way I can take Paris if he outnumbers me. So at this stage of the game, I still have a few more aircraft than he does. And that'll be it. Okay, so I moved the French and British Army. Now you can't build in the zone of control, so I don't care about this spot. So I just shifted some troops, and I made sure this is the strongest I can get right around these tanks. Now if I can get rid of the tanks, then on attrition we'll try it. But we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 27. See? So it only puts us on this table, so we can't count on getting a hex. We'll see. And it's a 4. A 4 does give us 1 hex and 2 counters. So we're going to go ahead and take off some replacements. I don't want to lose any more Germans, and he can pick the hex. And what's going to happen here is when I have to back up these tanks, I lose them. So if I eliminate this infantry as one, I can back one tank up to here, and I'm not going to eliminate another tank. So you can go ahead and pick. I'm going to lose him anyway. So he did good. He just by an attrition, he took off a tank and an infantry. So the British are going to pick this hex. We back them up to there, and we will send the British right there. So that's what we wanted. We held 2 spaces from Paris, and that's what we'll go with. Let's do our builds. The French will build 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 and 15 is 28. So we go 10, 20, 8. The British will go 8, 3, and I would really like to get this on the board. So 27 and 3 is 30. So 1, 2, 3, and that's where we put them. The British are going to go ahead and SR. Since the Germans are going to be pretty close to here, we're going to go ahead and protect England. We're going to bring one tank in. We're going to keep it in the back. This is for the French surrender table. It helps us as long as we keep them in France. This guy is going to go right there, and our fleet that we built will go right there. So this one SR'd in one guy, and the French, they're going to stack 2 tanks on Paris. We're going to keep the planes there that the Germans are going to have to deal with. Let's back up the back here. Put this right there, and these 2 right there. Well, actually, we'll SR this guy out of here. I'd like to put a tank there instead. We'll put him there. Okay. So the British, you can see they backed out. They kept one infantry at home and put the tank back there. That's for the French surrender table to help us out. So that's it for the French and British. The Russians, again, don't do nothing. They don't need to do anything until we get close to war. So that brings us to the Raider table. Raider combat. First, we see if we can intercept. You have to add 1 to the dice. Here's the first corner, and he does intercept. The second one, he misses. The third one, he intercepts, and the last one misses. You add 1, becomes a 4. So 2 of them made it. So this one goes through. He goes back. And this one goes through. And he goes back. So we have 2 battles. And here's the Germans. And they only roll a 4 plus 1 is a 5 on the 3 table. And 1 British ship is aborted, so he don't lose any there. And the British get a 4 minus 1 is a 3. And 1 aborted there. So the British did not beat him. So one German 3 is actually going home. So only 2 get in the box over there from that one. Second one, the Germans roll a second one. The Germans roll a 8 plus 1 is a 9. They only have 2 ships. That's 1 British sunk, 1 abort. The British roll a 3, which is a 2. They obviously lose nothing. So 1 British sunk there. Okay, so far the British have lost 9, the Germans 9. And so the Raiders in the box, yep, the British are going to stop 2 of them. First, you got to see if you can intercept. There goes one, and he succeeds at one, and he misses the other one. So the German attacks with a 4 plus 1 is a 5. One British ship has to abort so he don't lose anything. Oh, and that's a 11, which is a 10. And 2 are sunk there. So the Germans lose 2 more. The British only have to abort 1, but they get to bring 1 back before the SW phase. So they still have them in the box, but 6 BRPs are hit. British go down 6. And then the Germans return home. So far they are missing the 2 SRs again. So let's see what we got in the second turn for SW. There's 2. And the Germans have 3. Let's see what the Germans roll. For the SW, and they have an 8 this time. That's 60% of the BRPs will get through, and it's 2, 3, 4 to a 3. So it's actually -1, so it's 50% get through. So out of the 3 BRPs he will lose, we round up, he'll lose 2. Now you take off the losses.
So the fleet factors, the 9-factor fleets, remember you can only have whole 9-factor fleets in the SW box. Now I know mine are broken down, that's just to save me trouble from when they get in battles, but there are 9 factors there. So there's 2 9 factors. They eliminate submarines first, so they eliminate 2 submarines. You never eliminate 9-factor fleets, so 2 submarines are dead. Then there's 2 ASW and 1 submarine left, so you eliminate 1 for 1. So 1 ASW dies, 1 submarine dies, and there is 1 ASW left this turn.
They get 1 ASW left from last turn and 1 from this turn, so there's 2 ASW surviving so far. So that's the end of this side for Europe. We move to the Pacific side. First thing we do is we up the BRPs for the Americans. 10 on both sides. So, according to our attention table, there's 1 more over here put on for the turn. And so we're at 7. Now up here, we're on the same table against the communists, okay? That'll be the 11 table. Then over here, we'll get on the 21 table. These are needed to keep partisans off. These 2 are not needed at all. And these 2 are needed here. I'll probably move, we don't need the tank up here. Let's put this guy on the line. We're going to back the tank out of here because eventually the tank's got to go. Okay, so we'll move the tank 1, 2, 3 to here because we'll get them out of here. And like I said, those 2 3-3s aren't needed. We're going to eventually send 1 up to there. So let's send the other one into a port right here. It's time to get these off. We'll send a 9 ship. We're just doing adjustments to get people off the front here, okay, because they're not needed. The tank won't be needed. We'll get that off next turn. Okay, we'll have a few for the backup here, and these are just holding the. This is an important city. We'll just hold because we need to take Hong Kong there. This one really don't matter if we lose it. I'll probably take these forces off when I can. Okay, the Flying Tiger is going to come in. The Flying Tiger will be able to base around here with the Chinese have 1 air base and start attacking that. So we'll probably have to get that out of here soon. Anyways, let's do the rolls. First, communists. And that's a 3. and that gives us 1 counter. So we kill 1, and let's hit the 21 table here. Hit the 21 table with a 2. It's 3 counters against Chinese. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's it. Japanese will build. They'll build 1, 2, 3. We build the 3 men we have eliminated there, and we're going to get ready to SR these out of here. So they'll stay there. They're not going back in China. We make sure China has everything in a ZOC and everything covered. So, and I'm going to SR a 1-2 into there. Okay. So we're starting to thin out China a little bit. I might take 1 offensive this year just to kill some Chinese without destroying too many Japanese. So that's it. So the Chinese, they'll do their attrition. Chinese, oh, and they kill a counter. So we'll have to take 1 out of the bottom of there. And the Nationalists roll a 2, and a 2 says 3 counters. So 1, 2, and we can't take that one off. Remember, we can't give them this is zone of control all the way down here, so I'll have to give them this one. There's 3. Okay. So they keep doing their part, and the Chinese are done.